Hello everybody and welcome to Tiger Tales, a place where you'll find original stories and fan fictions written and read to you by your host, me, Tai Tiger. A quick note, if you want to catch up on the latest adventures from Power Rangers Future Foundation, you've got to listen to Chapter 22 of course, but you might want to also listen to the Power Rangers Future Foundation and Power Rangers Cyberforce crossover event which took place on the Tiger Tales YouTube channel and the Power Rangers Universe 19 podcast. It's a crossover event and it does kind of play along with what's been happening, so go check it out before you dive into this story. If you've done that, or maybe you want to save it for later, then please continue. Let's dive back into Universe 113, where the Future Foundation is a team of Rangers made up of previous powers from previous teams combined into one awesome team. Lucicon is of course trying to make himself stronger by collecting Ranger powers and villain powers to make the ultimate being, and of course our Rangers are here to stop him. In this chapter, everything's been a bit quiet until something seems to be occurring, not only with the bad guys, but something else. So let's dive in with Power Rangers Future Foundation, Chapter 23, Go for Green.
Welcome to Universe 113, a place where an old evil has continued its quest for ultimate power, starting by kidnapping previous Rangers and stealing their powers. But not all is lost, as a new generation of Rangers is born, bringing new life to the legendary powers that came before them. They are the new heroes of Earth. They are Power Rangers Future Foundation.
Dante was sat chilling by his lonesome. He sat on the bench waiting for Luca to come around with the car to pick him up. He was sat on the bench making his way through a pack of starbursts. He sighed to himself. They had returned from Universe 19 no more than 10 days ago, and life had been rather quiet. Only a few putreds here and there, but that was about it. Dante and his team was itching to get back into the fight. Luca came speeding up and halted in front of Dante. Dante jumped off the bench and climbed into the passenger seat. "What's up, bro?" Luca said to him. "What's up, man? Thanks for the lift." Dante smiled and both the boys fist bumped. Then Luca drove off and they started to head home. "So, you find something to do?" Luca asked. "Hell no," Dante chuckled. "Lucky we got some nice sun, huh?" Luca muttered, looking up at the blue sky. "Yeah, where did you go anyway?" Dante asked. "I went to do some thinking. I've been contemplating on calling my dad," Luca told him. "You mean in the future?" Dante stated questioningly. "Yeah," Luca sighed. "Why don't you then?" Dante asked him. "It's hard, you know. I was teleported here without warning. I don't even know if they know I'm here. Or what I'm doing," Luca explained, holding up his chronomorpher. "Yo man, I think your dad would be proud of you. He was a ranger as well, and you're literally following in his footsteps. You're doing good," Dante said to him. "I don't know," Luca muttered. He slowed the car down to a stop as they reached the traffic lights. They both sat there silently for a minute. Then suddenly they could hear several cars honking their horns continuously. "What's going on?" Luca said. "I don't know," Dante sighed. As he leaned out of the window, he could see several people running towards him in fear. Dante quickly jumped back into the car as the scared civilians ran past. "You want to go investigate this?" Luca asked. "Yeah, let's do it," Dante grinned. Luca cut off the engine, and both the boys climbed out and started speed walking down the road into the commotion, where they found a monster that looked like a traffic light, large and distorted for a body, with rubber arms and rubber-like legs. Its face was placed in the torso, in a slit between the orange light and the green light of the traffic-like body. The monster was stood there with a group of people completely frozen in place. Some were in complete panic, running away. Some were scared and in mid-fall. I'm assuming it's using the traffic lights to freeze people? Like maybe it's the red one?" Luca questioned. "I'm gonna assume so," Dante replied. "You want to handle this?" Luca grinned. It's about time we got some action," Dante said. Then both boys ran up to the monster. "Yo, ready, steady, freak," Luca called out. "Who, me?" the traffic light monster growled as it spun around to face the two boys. "No, the other ugly thing with 3 colours on its body," Dante mocked. "Let me guess, Power Rangers?" the traffic light monster asked. You wanna bet? Dante grinned. I am the traffic light org, the monster growled. Too tired to care, Luca muttered, faking a yawn. Then he crossed his wrists and pressed his chronomorpher. Time force, he called out, as Dante held out his power morpher as it popped open. Mastodon, he called out. Then both of them morphed, and the black Mighty Morphin Power Ranger and the blue Time Force Ranger stood before the traffic light org. Ooh, two colours I don't have, the traffic light org grunted. The Black Ranger ran at the org with his power axe and jumped up and swung it at the org, slashing the org down the chest, sparks flying off of him, and made him stumble back. The Blue Ranger ran in with his chrono sabers and spun around and slashed the org, making it stumble back even more. Haha, this is easy picking, the Blue Ranger chuckled. Most definitely, the Black Ranger cheered. Not so fast, boys, the traffic light org grunted. Then a beam of energy from the red light on the org's body blasted and hit the Black Ranger. He froze completely on the spot, like the people surrounding them, unable to move, like he was made out of solid stone. Dante, dude, talk to me, the Blue Ranger panicked as he ran up to the Black Ranger, trying to make him move, but the Black Ranger was unable to speak back. The Blue Ranger then turned back around to the traffic light org. Damn it, the Blue Ranger muttered. He ran at the org, but lightning erupted from the orange light and struck the Ranger, sparks flying off his suit as he was thrown off his feet. The org advanced, when suddenly it was struck with several pink energy rings. The org looked up to see a pink Ranger stood on a car. Well, sorry for interrupting, the pink in-space Ranger called out. Ooh, another one, the org grunted. The pink Ranger flipped off the car and ran up to the Time Force Ranger to help him to his feet. Thanks, doll, the Blue Ranger grunted. It's okay, I saw all the commotion, so I thought I'd come and help, the Pink Ranger explained. The two Rangers faced the org. Let me guess, he froze Dante? The Pink Ranger asked. Yeah, he froze Dante, the Blue Ranger answered. We better beat this thing so that he can freeze Dante and everyone else, the Pink Ranger grunted. Right, the Blue Ranger chirped, and both the Rangers dropped into their fighting stances. The org blasted lightning at the two Rangers, but they both rolled forward, dodging the attacks. Then the Pink Ranger aimed her satellite stunner and shot several energy rings at the org. Then the Blue Ranger dived in, blades first. He combined both chrono sabers together by their handles, making a double-ended blade, and swung it at the org in a fast-paced combo, slashing the org multiple times. The Pink Ranger then jumped up and shot at the org again. The Blue Ranger then pulled out his Vortex Blaster V2, knelt down and took aim. Then the Pink Ranger connected her Satellite Stunner and Astro Blaster together. Satellite Stunner, booster mode, she called out, and then aimed the combined weapons at the org. Ready? Aim. Fire, the Blue Ranger called out, and both Rangers pulled the trigger, and both blasts hit the org dead on. The traffic light org fell back, and he screamed out as he blew up. Everybody unfroze, and they all started to cheer at the Rangers as the Black Ranger walked up to the others. Thanks, guys, the Black Ranger said in a sigh of relief. No problem, man. I'm just glad to have you back, the Blue Ranger muttered as both the boys fist bumped. Suddenly, one of Lucicon's mutant generals appeared and sprinkled something on the org's remains. Then it teleported away. And then suddenly, roots appeared from the remains and formed into the org once more, but this time it became giant. Oh, great, the Blue Ranger grunted. Hang on 1 second, the Black Ranger said. Then suddenly, Logan appeared, next to them looking at the giant org. Ah, where did you come from? The Blue Ranger barked. Hey, Logan, the Pink Ranger said to him. Hey, kid, Logan nodded at the Pink Ranger. Thanks for being here, man, the Black Ranger told him. Let me do my thing, then you can thank me, Logan said as he placed the 3 animal crystals in his flute knife. He then started to play it, and suddenly the wolf, hammerhead, and alligator swords arrived, and the wolf jumped up, rolling forward into the org, making it stumble back. Predazords, combine! Logan commanded. Then the alligator's back legs extended and became the Megazord's legs, and its head folded down and attached it to its torso. The Megazord's head extended out, and the wolf and hammerhead Zords attached themselves to the alligator arms, becoming the Megazord itself. Logan then jumped up and into the Megazord, placing the flute knife on the cockpit, and took his stance. The Megazord kicked the Org in the chest, and the Orgs retaliated with a blast of lightning, which hit the Megazord dead on. Then the Megazord grabbed its sword and swung down on the Org. Then with the hammerhead fist, it punched the Org straight on. The Org's red light started glowing, and it shot a beam of energy towards the Megazord, but the Megazord darted to one side, dodging the attack. "Yeah, I ain't that stupid," Logan muttered. "Crescent Boomerang," Logan then commanded, and the Megazord grabbed the wolf's tail that sat on the alligator's head, and it flung it at the Org. It started to glow yellow, and it hit the Org with a spark of electricity. The Org then fell back and blew up. Logan landed next to the Ranger, the people all cheering. "I'll see you back at base," Logan nodded, and then he teleported away. "I guess we should be leaving too," the Pink Ranger muttered. The three Rangers all teleported away, and within a few minutes, Luca and Dante found their way back to Luca's car, jumped in, and started to head back to the dojo.
Hey, I know you've been enjoying what you're listening to. Please insert name of show here. And if you've been enjoying that, come on over to the Zero to Hero podcast, where Billy and myself, the Balkan School of Podcasting, go through and examine all kinds of things like 90s nostalgia, the moon landings, historical plots, assassination attempts, and, weirdly enough, genetics. Come on over to the Zero to Hero podcast if you want to talk about weird things.
Back at the dojo, everybody grouped up. Chloe and Kira had also arrived from their mother and daughter day out, and Leo teleported in from the animarium. "Alright guys, Logan has something to tell us," Dante said as he leant on the table, allowing Logan to take center stage. "Thanks. I've been investigating something, a powerful source of morphing grid energy, coming from the water that's close to what's left of Angel Grove," Logan explained. Somebody want to explain this?" Luca asked. "Wait, are you saying it's been activated?" CJ asked. "I believe so," Luca replied. "What's been activated?" Dante asked. "The Green Dragon Zord," Logan said. Everyone sat there with their mouths dropped open. "Who activated it?" Chloe asked. "Tommy was the last person who used that power. It's linked to the green power coin," Kira chimed in. Does somebody want to clue in the clueless guy here?" Luca asked awkwardly. "There's a new ranger around," Amy grinned with a big, nerdy grin. And there we have it, guys. Chapter 23. I really hope you have enjoyed this chapter. I know it's a short one, but still, nevertheless. Make sure you go check out my other Power Ranger stories, Magnificent Megaforce on Universe 35, and Power Ranger Cyborg V2 in Universe 91. That being said, I am part of the Three Ranger Bros, a production studio which are making Power Ranger content with Power Rangers Global in Universe 2118, which officially had its debut a couple weeks ago. So make sure you go check that out too. That being said, go check out the Three Ranger Bros as well. There's myself, and of course Mark the Red Cornish Ranger with his podcast Naruto Comics, which he adapts comic books into audio dramas and uploads his own original stuff as well. Then we have Willie, my Parabatai, Cosplay Dude 637, with his Power Rangers Universe 19 podcast, which he uploads Power Rangers and Kamen Rider stuff. So make sure you go check that out. We're in association with Zero to Hero, which is a Power Rangers themed podcast, but they also talk about many other different fandoms and interview people who love and share the same fandoms. The Three Ranger Bros have all individually been on the podcast, so maybe we should go check it out. That being said, don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, because it'd be awesome if you did, and it does show your support to the channel and helps me do what I'm doing here. Thank you all for watching, and I shall see you guys really soon.